Coming up on CitrusTV News, a video from Upstate Medical University students aimed at President Trump and gaining popularity. We speak to those involved about why they did it and what they hope their biggest takeaway is.
And tabled again, SA President Eric Evangelista's fate was up for decision at last night's meeting. We'll tell you about the surprising twist that happened.
And a race against time, a dam in California on the verge of giving way, what officials are trying to do before the next rainstorm.
This is CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
New updates on a former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. The White House saying he was forced out by President Trump himself. Hello, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Nick Papantonis.
And I'm Jackie Prager. Flynn allegedly discussed U.S. sanctions with Russia before Donald Trump became president, which is against the law. But Trump said he asked Flynn to leave because he lied about it to Vice President Mike Pence. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg will now take on those responsibilities as the interim replacement. And Congress is likely to look into Flynn's connections to Russia. And a group of Upstate Medical students are making a political statement in YouTube video, picking up traction. CitrusTV's Meghan Mistry spoke with two of the students who made the video.
Titled, quote, "Sincerely the Future of Healthcare," this video by a few Upstate Medical University students has more than 6,000 views. Its message, inclusivity and treatment for all.
I really hope that people know that we have, that they have advocates in us, and that they have a lot of important, powerful people that will back them. I mean, not necessarily us, but like if you look at the people who have signed it, there's some really important people that have signed it, some really big doctors and heads of hospitals and stuff, and I think that that shows that they're not alone, and they're not alone.
DeLuca is referring to the petition that accompanies the video, which hundreds have also already signed, spanning state lines. The video shows discontent with President Trump's policies and rhetoric and promises equal health care for all, regardless of race, religion, or sexual orientation.
No matter what, that if they come into our office and people like us, they are not marginalized, and we will care for them to the best of our ability.
Now, they're hoping to get their video in front of President Trump. Meghan Mistry, CitrusTV News.
The students say New Jersey Senator Cory Booker's office reached out to them to give us support.
Imagine all the people in your life you do not want to Valentine from. Is the KKK on that list? Residents in Fort Plain were given flyers that read, quote, "Love your own race." They encouraged readers to join the supremacist group. KKK leaders say more than 100 new members have joined in New York and Massachusetts. Police say despite the racist messages, no one has been threatened, and those flyers are protected under free speech, so they can't do anything.
And breaking news, DPS is investigating a sexual assault that happened last night. DPS says a man groped a woman on Marshall Street. The suspect has not been caught, and if you have any information on this case, call DPS. An Onondaga County jail deputy was put on administrative leave for driving drunk. State police say Wiwoka Shandoa drove while he was intoxicated, hit a car, and ran away from troopers this past weekend. Shenandoah was assigned to the Onondaga County Justice Center in Syracuse. He was charged with aggravated driving while intoxicated. He will be in court next week. And the new Fault Cafe on campus will host its grand opening tomorrow afternoon. The celebration will kick off with a cake cutting ceremony at 12:15 p.m. Students, faculty, and staff are encouraged to join the Fault Cafe. And the Falk Cafe is located on the second floor across from the main student lounge of the Falk building. It will open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the cafe will offer make-your-own salad and wraps and a grill for sandwiches and other foods.
ASU English professor is releasing a novel today that you're sure to fall in love with. George Saunders' first novel, titled Lincoln in the Bardo, tells of the fictional tale of President Lincoln's visit to the grave of his son, Willie. The book has received positive reviews from major newspapers, including the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. An audiobook starring celebrities such as Ben Stiller and Susan Sarandon is also in the works. 23 suspected illegal immigrants have been arrested in western New York. The Department of Homeland Security saying Hamburg police swarmed a group of white vans outside of a 7-Eleven. The suspects were taken into custody for processing. Border Patrol saying the raid was random and unrelated to President Trump's policies. The incident joins a long list of other raids that have happened this week in 6 states.
The Student Association delayed a decision on President Eric Evangelista again. The Judicial Review Board said they have to review the evidence and testimony again. Evangelista has been under fire for possibly breaking the SA Constitution. Elections Chair Janine Borges said that the review is taking time, but is now important to follow the rules.
I think that it's kind of, in checks and balances. We have it in the United States government and we have it in the Syracuse University student government.
The review board will release a public statement on Evangelista at 7, which may reveal Evangelista's fate, and they will also answer any questions at the SA office on Friday.
And today we finally got some sun after several days straight of snow.
I was so thrilled to see it. I was actually happy to go outside for the first time in so long. And we have Gilat Melamed here now to tell us about what's coming up.
Yeah, very mild day today. Even right now, after 6 p.m., 38 degrees, upper 30s, winds only at 9 miles per hour. And this was what Valentine's Day looked like across the rest of the country. 40s and 30s in the north, 50s in a lot of the country, and look at Miami getting all the way up to 80. Will we have more snow on the way, though? And most importantly, what type of weather can you expect tonight? I'll tell you coming up in my full forecast.
Coming up, a race against time as rain approaches an overflowing California dam.
And the brother of the North Korean dictator has been assassinated in Malaysia. What authorities say happened after the break.
Get some drinks!
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this.
You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately.
That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back. Officials are still scrambling to repair a California dam before expected rain hits later this week. According to reports, engineers are trying to lower the water level in Lake Oroville to decrease the chance of major flooding, with the primary spillway damaged and the emergency spillway eroding. Workers are worried as the rain will place more stress on the structure. Nearly 200,000 residents are still banned from their homes. The Oroville Dam's first hole appeared last week, and the emergency spillway developed a hole on Sunday.
The son of convicted sex offender Jerry Sandusky has been arrested for the same crimes as his father.
Jeffrey Sandusky faces 14 counts of child sexual offense charges. They say Sandusky was involved with 2 girls under the age of 16. Last year, one of the girls allegedly told her father Sandusky texted her asking for naked photos.
Sandusky was arraigned yesterday and will have his first hearing next week.
A 19-year-old Georgia student may become one of the youngest elected officials in U.S. history.
College sophomore Mary Pat Hector is allowed to run for office after arguing that if she is allowed to vote, she should be allowed to appear on the ballot in her city of Stonecrest.
Her local county board says the city's charter doesn't specify any age restrictions, making Hector the youngest woman to run for elected office in the state.
And moving overseas, as there are new complications with U.S. relationship with Russia.
White House officials saying Russia deployed a missile that is in violation of a Cold War arms control treaty. The missile was previously under scrutiny during the Obama administration when it was originally tested.
This comes as President Trump is still working on a replacement for National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who resigned yesterday.
U.S. authorities are placing sanctions on the Vice President of Venezuela after calling him, quote, an international drug trafficker. The Treasury Department saying Tarek el-Aissami used planes to export drugs from Venezuela, some of them bound for the U.S. The sanctions against the VP bans any business from this country and freezes any assets held here as well.
North Korean leader Kim Jong Un's half-brother has been killed. That's according to Malaysian police.
Reports say he was either sprayed or injected with poison by a woman. He fled North Korea after being passed over for supreme leader.
It isn't known if this was an assassination, but he has been targeted by North Korean assassins before. There has been an autopsy on the body, but the results have not been released.
And the country of Georgia has arrested a priest for a poison plot. The man was suspected of planning an assassination of the head of the Georgian church. They stopped him in an airport. Authorities say they found cyanide in his luggage.
Though Georgian officials say they are unsure if the church head was the target, they believe they have averted a major disaster. A Mexican senator is introducing a bill that will have Mexico buy corn from Brazil and Argentina instead of the U.S. Mexico is currently one of the top buyers of American corn and the country's first political action in response to President Trump's threats. The senator announced this news this weekend at an anti-Trump protest in Mexico City.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Temperatures around the area right now, pretty mild for this time of year. A lot of upper 30s. You have the warmest Rochester and Elmira at 40 actually, 35 in Cortland. Tonight's forecast, 35 degrees. You're going to have some snow showers starting around 8 p.m. and that's going to go into the night, but shouldn't be too bad. It's going to feel like the upper 20s, so you're definitely going to want to bundle up. And then waking up tomorrow, it's going to be snowing all day. It's going to be 9 a.m., 34 degrees, going to go up to 35 at noon. Little chilly at 6 p.m., going down to 32, but it will feel like the 20s. And looking at tomorrow afternoon, this is around 1 p.m. Snow in Syracuse and across the area. You have that low pressure system moving to the northeast of us, and they'll be getting a lot of snow up there. And then we have a lake effect snow watch. This is starting tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to go into Thursday evening. You can expect snow accumulation of 5 to 10 inches, high wind gusts at up to 35 miles per hour, and the most affected area is going to be the higher terrains of Onondaga County. And now looking ahead at our 5-day forecast, Wednesday, high 34, low 24. Thursday, snow again with a high of 24 and a low of 19. And then for the weekend, you have some sun and 40, so definitely a nice break there.
Well, that's good, but you said unfortunately that we might be seeing some snow coming back in tonight, but yes. Is it really going to affect anyone's Valentine's Day plans?
No, definitely when you're heading out to your plans, you might have a little bit of snow and then coming back, but the big bulk of the heavy snow is going to be overnight, so nothing to worry about.
That's good.
And I've heard rumors that we're going to be experiencing a bit of a warm-up next weekend. What's that looking like?
Yeah, definitely. This weekend we're going to have some 40s, and that's going to carry into next week, actually. A lot of 40s to start off the week, and then next Thursday morning is when you're going to see the snow again.
Nice break for a while. Thanks so much. Well, when we come back, the Westminster Dog Show finishes up tonight. Find out why it's cats that are making the headlines.
And the new Bachelorette is making history, the reaction she's getting.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Giant may have trouble taking off after a reported $5.5 billion loss last year. Rolls-Royce, which is not affiliated with the car company, agreed to settle corruption charges for hundreds of millions of dollars and many more contracts worth more than $5 billion. Company says their finances are strong despite last year's troubles. A federal judge has shut down a merger between two of the largest health insurance companies. Aetna and Humana were trying to complete the $34 billion combination, but the judge said that absolutely not. Citing an antitrust laws, this was the second deal canceled this year.
The Bachelorette will be making more love this season. It'll also be making history. ABC selecting the first ever black lead in the history of the franchise. 31-year-old attorney Rachel Lindsay will star in the 13th season. The announcement was made late Monday night on Jimmy Kimmel Live following years of complaints over diversity in the show's casts.
And how much did you spend for your significant other this Valentine's Day?
If it was less than $136, you're below average. That's according to the National Retail Federation report. They say that more than $4 billion will be spent on jewelry alone.
They're estimating that Americans will wind up spending more than $18 billion by the end of the day.
And Playboy is bearing all once again.
The magazine announced in 2015 nude photos would be eliminated, but the company executives believe it was a mistake, saying they're, quote, reclaiming who we are. They're also promising to evolve as time passes.
The official Playboy Twitter account helping to spread the word with a picture of the latest cover and a new hashtag, Naked is Normal.
The biggest YouTube star in history is being dropped by Disney after putting anti-Semitic images in his videos. PewDiePie recently hired 2 people to hold up a sign that would say, quote, death to all Jews. The highly paid star is known to be controversial, but Disney's Makers Studios decided that he went too far this time. PewDiePie says that he's simply joking and that he does not support anti-Semitism. And nearly 3,000 dogs are competing in the Westminster Dog Show, but this year it's not just about man's best friend. Cats have been appearing with dogs during the events before the final judging. But don't worry, dog lovers, the competition tonight is all about the pooches. 7 dogs will be competing for the best title in show. The final results will be revealed tonight at 8.
Coming up in sports, 2 women's lacrosse players receive weekly honors after Syracuse beat Boston College in their season opener. Men's basketball also faced number 8 Louisville in the Carrier Dome last night. We will have highlights and hear from Coach Boeheim himself when we come back in 120 seconds.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Hello, I'm Nicole Weaving with sports. Redshirt freshman Mary Rahal and redshirt Asia Goldstock each received weekly honors today for their performance in the season opening victory over number 17 Boston College. Rahal is this week's Inside Lacrosse National Rookie of the Week with a hat trick and 2 assists in the win. Goldstock made her debut in goal, contributing 10 saves to keep the Eagles off the scoreboard. She received ACC Women Lacrosse Co-Defensive Player of the Week. Over to the hardwood, the Syracuse men's basketball team beat 2 ranked teams earlier this season, number 6 Florida and number 9 Virginia. Last night, Cuse took on number 8 Louisville in the Carrier Dome, looking for their 3rd win over a ranked opponent. The Orange hadn't lost at home since St. John's at the end of December, but the Cardinals proved to be too much to handle. Let's take a look at what happened in this overtime thriller. So here we go, old friends Jim Boeheim and Rick Pitino shaking hands before the game. Rick Pitino actually served under Boeheim back in the 70s as an assistant coach. In the first half, Anas Mahmoud, the jumper is good to give Louisville the lead 28-14. Louisville's largest lead of the game. Now Tyler Lydon will throw that one down, bringing Syracuse within 6, 29-23. Into the second half, Torian Thompson, the layup is good. Syracuse will take its first lead of the game, 37-36. Now, at the end of the second half, it's getting dicey. Jalen Johnson will slam that one home to give Louisville the lead 58-55. Just 8 seconds later, John Gillen says it's not over yet, sinks the 3-pointer to tie the game at 58, and we are headed into overtime. Jalen Johnson here, the dunk again, it's good. Louisville will be up 70-63. That will be the nail in the coffin for the Orange. This last second heave, no good. Louisville wins the game 76-72 in overtime. Now let's hear from Coach Jim Boeheim on his thoughts on the team's performance.
Give these kids a lot of credit. They played right as hard as you can play right to the end. The game was gone. In regulation, it was completely gone, and they got it back and had a chance to win it. And then it was really gone in overtime, and they had foul shots to tie the game. Unbelievable effort.
In the NBA, the Nets are in a slump, currently on a 13-game losing streak. Last night, Brooklyn lost to Memphis 112-103. This was the 5th straight home loss, setting a franchise record for futility. Mike Conley of the Grizzlies contributed 32 points, including 11 in the last 4 minutes to secure the victory. Brook Lopez had 17 points for the Nets. Over to the NHL, the Rangers beat the Blue Jackets 3-2 last night. This was the 3rd time New York toppled Columbus this season. Antti Raanta came back after 6 weeks off with 30 saves, including key stops in the final minutes of the game. Jimmy Vesey scored the go-ahead goal for the Blue Shirts in the 3rd period to secure the win. Tonight, the Sabres take on the Senators in Ottawa, and the Islanders play the Maple Leafs in Toronto.
So you heard Coach Boeheim. Before we came back, he said the game was gone. What happened?
The shot selection really towards the end of the game fell apart. Gillen, White took some really questionable shots that could have been better, and that really led to the deficit that the Orange were not able to come back from, especially in overtime. The Cardinals really were just able to outpace them.
It was a really tough game to watch. I mean, we were rooting for the last seconds. But because we lost, how does this affect the tournament, or do we even have a shot?
In the most recent bracketology, Syracuse is actually slated at number 11 to play SMU in the Midwest. But honestly, they really need to win out. Losing to Louisville at home really negatively impacted Syracuse. So beating Georgia Tech twice and the Duke win at home would honestly be huge. So going ahead, that's what we really need to go into the postseason.
Great, well hopefully we can pull it off.
Thanks, Nicole. Some of us are single today on Valentine's Day, but don't fear. A cookie store has us covered. What they're doing when we return.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Well, Gilat, today we woke up and saw a beautiful day. Are we going to be able to see one tomorrow?
Not really. Definitely you're going to want to wear your snow boots. That's probably the most important thing. And it's not going to be bone-chilling cold, but definitely cold. You should have 2 layers under your jacket.
All right, well, great. Thanks so much. And
coming up on OTN, catch up on sports with Orange Press Pass and back-to-back episodes of Talking Points.
And unfortunately, it is, well, not unfortunately, but it is Valentine's Day. And for those of us, unfortunately, who don't have plans for Valentine's Day, a bakery in Wisconsin is trying to take care of that.
These are cookies and cupcakes. They'll be on your screen in a second here. There they are. For special notes for singles, things like Love Stinks and Bite Me are on these not-so-romantic cookies. The bakery opened just to deliver these, and I'll hopefully be getting some.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. I'm Jackie Prager on behalf of Nick and I. Have a good night, Syracuse.